Episode for higher GFC News. Mima Obibia Aquava. I had the latest hot and made Bremo. And so we can subscribe to channel idea, but more than say over subscribe. The way I say over click a year the subscribe button. Now, barely notification. We answer video for beer be upload when the first person what's a Ebeka ASR video. I feel we are now like video. Give us a thumbs up. Now, fee share my work for so now. When you be here. Now, and somewhere coso, Ghana memoir. I think Tentamara, Yembura, and somewhere Abeto Yaponoso. Now, a year the most wanted man in Ghana, a year Ken Ofori-Atta, as a Wakupi Interpol for one website that when I issue a year red notice, I year Sabibri, in Ghana had in den to come and answer for certain issues akoso ewo Ghana si na ye Ivan che innocent ono so otchere fire Ghana hu sen bebre na watoto bi dia ma ye OSP a wo chese OSP officer kura hu fa so bia also ebeya ye closing it down any Ivan de sem do na to na sana no ye hwe ye Ken Ofori-Atta wakupi wo ye Interpol on the website wo hwa and wo screen so no ni bibia na information ni bibia akwa kopio na haso ekopio hade ne obeda ho afebo ensem bebre o no base sem papa bra was me ma eneme yare na see akoye ensem bebre ni information nyina na gu Interpol for website ni picture ni din wo ho no Ofori-Atta Kenneth nana yaw bibia akwa kopio hodom na akoye ensem bebre na yenkotie Ivan che innocent said wode ensem atudwa efa aye OSP ene Ken Ofori-Atta honsen simia aye sembdija e wo Ghana memwa ihian wo Ghana ha den aye sembebre yenkuti aye Ivan che innocent sere wode ne semono atudwa
penso and of an life FM 92. So that is his modus operandi ente kasado do ni nsemhunu
on the Ghana of Adri di agro
exactly because engagement na e cost between on the Ken Ofori-Atta no Alaska you move one step inch. And there hasn't been anything because Cecilia Manoka say Ken Ofori-Atta shall say back and forth no for us to show say you serious no and can asset bia you suspect say proceed out of the criminal dealings in this country no should have been frozen by now.
Exactly.
Every single asset.
But your nasika from
yes, should have been frozen. But the gentleman still and again. You say you need to Interpol red alert and a whole lot of stuff. Putting somebody on Interpol red alert, you know, and no, it's not a concluded way. Say what the neighbor room ha. Because this is a guy. No, pioneer may catch Captain Smart said the guy is playing I am sick card, and it's very difficult to evacuate Obi or so.
That's right.
On a humanitarian basis, you cannot force him out, and on you willing to come. Ultimate travel to other jurisdictions. Recently, he was in the UK, according to sources. At a restaurant. So it means the guy is mobile. He can move around. Obetimi sit in plane. So question be as you hear no so obahabeya no bia no. Obetimi aba, but he's not ready to do that. And he's telling us say Ghana for you ready. And before that, no what come 2nd June. 2nd June what na say my time no so wie na oba kan kire yen say oh when you cancer, now the doctors and I make as me as a medical person, obinya yarea, I only sympathize with the person because
right.
I know the pain, the ordeal that you need to go through. But Ken Ofori-Atta yare and then 2.3. Or not them how the finance minister now when the TS is what him so yare that.
Oh, chronic.
Oh, now Timus no yare. And the ono oyare no is not a new news. Yanti be that. But the fact is that are you immobile? I idea immobilized, bedridden, I won't me move. The answer is no. So what is stopping him from coming? And then Babia all twisted at the end of the aquafano. A man for things are very easy. Say or see a Zoom. Now on authorities in the back cooperative na sema ho account. I am telling you, sir, Zoom sem na all can in you can in a criminal proceedings I will be sitting in other jurisdiction. US award that mutual legal assistance way with other country. But Ghana no ya new moon nisa ya near cooperation.
Okay.
So the corporation, and I'm saying the gentleman is in other jurisdictions, you know. So person wouldn't engage in that procedure, a criminal procedure, and the consequences in the future. And I say, what the evidence never court. And now say, evacuating it in another room. I say, no, you need to go through the appropriate channel. Our US laws will have to come to play. So your friend be letter rogatory, which the Attorney General here will have to write a correspondent to the AG department in America
right.
to notify them that there is this person of interest. or you're involved in criminal activities here, we want to investigate him.
Or you're fugitive.
Fugitive or whatever. You per se investigating, no. And for that matter, no, you hear more assistant just to collaborate with us. Be able to na that video conference and as for no. Ebasa evidence na betimi ade free nipa no ho no. Ebe stand the test of prosecution or court because one no kwase dan chamber bi na kwaye no. No, but no say asem na meka they forced me to. I did it under duress.
That's right.
That piece of evidence now when you know cannot stand the test of prosecution or law court. I be man say me a foolish case, and there are other regulations that are coming in place. About how by making sure say sign your money you have to go through. So the processes that Ken Ofori-Atta is asking for, it's a long haul and yeah easy. And again, this is a guy what demonstrates that he's not willing to come.
That's right.
And Alaska, I'm saying say Obia all play I am sick card won't mean for son of number. So also ma because in the first place. You had not to Interpol red alert said the Kwesi Agyapong making it look like say Kwaku Annan the number. Obi anybody or so or US.
Kwesi Agyapong or to me this John Awewu court master John Awewu no etumi dibim. Dabio
Alaska. So Interpol red alert na near brigigi other abrante no kwakoto so no. The guy is in America. He's telling you that I'm sick. I can't come. And this FBI kofa Ken Ofori-Atta ochena. Na omode ye first say niema gugu ne nsa na obie na no ka say meyare I'm seeking care in this hospital. FBI cannot extradite him.
That's right.
For them to extradite him, no, it will have to be determined by a court of competent jurisdiction under American law. What you have to do is say I'm going to find the medical records nyina or US court meyare I am not fit to go. And the court will have to determine either say the gentleman is fit. Say obetimi atena play mu akọ Ghana akọ stand prosecution because prosecution aye grele o no it takes a lot from you hypertension na se for no ma untumi kwa na o ma manfo baba no pie ba no so hu no so it's a hell of a
as you can say na ukura na utumi na ntu ko bampo na nei wada na apachi o
yes you can imagine say Ken Ofori-Atta kotoma ono de ababa no so these are the realities and he's just playing games and playing on the minds of Ghanaians, making look like I am ready to come, I am ready to cooperate, I'm ready to do this. But the reality, he knows that processes now all Kasayan subjecting to know it's a long haul.
Exactly.
Because Attorney General have to sit down, engage, get clearance from the US Department. We can equally do it through the US Embassy just to quicken the process. Now we are. Now said the gentleman is not coming, and then what is the point? So my argument has always been, sir. You see,
our assets were Ghana.
Yes, we need to be very radical, making sure, say, putting him on internet. Your friends say Interpol red alert. You know, it doesn't change anything because China. Say, oh, play I am sick card that you can't force him out. And
no, overdo not just say me mumu.
Oh, that's overdo can also on kasa. So what I'm saying is, say special prosecutor without Ken Ofori-Atta can proceed with your criminal case. Another day, you give him options or wave and say or sin and no some about try to paper so manufacture to paper so and then the lawyers are here. Just engage them.
So we can try him in absentia.
You can try him in absentia because if he's not willing to cooperate, if he's not willing to come and or say the lawyers are. Nipa na adini atenase amana Gyamfi ekwa awie dia na betimi aye and he's in another jurisdiction. You can't force him. Ghana any extradition treaty with the United States of America. Amono money ye wo.
Okay.
And the America betimi aba have before obi di na ko. But ye no ye kwa akofo obi di na ba is a different thing altogether. It can only work on mutual cooperation, not any treaty. What I say?
That's right.
So you see the complexity. So Ken Ofori-Atta no onim we nyina ne lawyers nim. And playing I am sick card no cement the every strategy be o ma adopted. And the Kwesi Agyapong the all ya no nyina ya me say emotional campaign na na pai na me catch say sir office of the special prosecutor the decommission no nyansa bia nim fa so bia ni so a waste of taxpayers money.
That's or the agree there.
Oh yes, because
if I understand how I may take what you are saying in there. And now ya here MB before you now one more say perceived some here corrupt officials are now almost corrupted. And then omunya kwa no mu yifi no kodo America. I'm sick
oh na say Alaska. You see me na me obi dwane akono. Eno no enye we yo. This is your country. Say obabo kro no nti adwane akwatena ba bia that is up to you. Me that alone na nkasa a sentencing for me.
Okay.
Because this is your country. as any dignified person, you should be proud to be able to come to your country and go any point in time. But if bibinti, so won't be more ukroma. Yet say a child was you. Okay. And in the villages in those times, you know, the biggest crime will be committed. A child was you. One casa ukro near win to me, mum. That alone for me is enough. What I say? The Obi and let the person go. Maslog mami I can as a mean. Say ya sentence no.
That's right.
Also play am say card be so te ho. Wa ukro near won't me, mum.
And you only mami Obana wabokro.
Alaska.
We gani fi.
What be na o sabi woman me awu na papa wo ba kura wu na won't me ma yie. Again sometimes say adnya hwe wo da haya kra de a obetimi haya kra. So for me that is enough. And that tells you the criminal intent with which these people rob this country. And to more motiva no mo so yet krom ha papa kwasi ndiom etimi create nyuma fa manfo ya adwuma
asem we na babeke
no to ya woka ye fe na adwuma wura ewie na papa na dan eka wura ese eka eso kwasi ndiom no amana ba akokora by force because amanfo businesses or no ankasa ni businesses ni na se for nom okobi ade be say friend Gold Coast hwan amanfo I have a friend who is a medical
fund
doctor.
Management.
I have a friend who is a medical doctor. As at now, the 40,000 shame, there be oba no so obi there 1 billion, obi there 2 billion. Ni nyina shame. Ni nyina because of this kind of writer. Because at the time I told you we had an option. Because you see, financial sector having this liquidity challenge around the world is all over. So what you need to do is say, as a finance minister, you strategize. Look at the American example in 2008 when they introduced the TAP, that is the Trouble Asset Relief Fund. Your fans saying where the Obama or making sure all trouble assets, you know, the giant businesses in America like JP Morgan Chase and then as for go and buy them.
That's right.
And they bought them and revive all of them. I know that they Fannie Mike and other companies, you know, were able to revive and they employ more Americans to work. This is a guy who is so dangerous to the extent say or no banks no name said these banks in as for because of political vindictiveness he decided to collapse these banks. I know that they Obi or your bank manager obo coat or kware na yere because of a bank manager so we say ma super coat in
that's right.
All of a sudden nipa na dan ototo prako
contrary
from bank manager to obi ototo prako you can imagine say we see assassin life amount all of a sudden they did all these things when we had an option. So Ken Ofori-Atta na man for see hu no mabo no ono de team audio we are free Agyapong Agyapong say on Ken Ofori-Atta na net we di nkomo amoaben
UT bank
yes ono kra bo Ken Ofori-Atta bosia or kwani village akwakoda oda na ne ma friend wo phone so ka chen say awunya nteye o bank ne ya wawa ye bubugu police fo ebubu bank nugu aya wawa everything atimodin and this nkrofo we edi operating okroma even Rollins kra no ye military person no did not use those methodologies
here aya sedu agongo yes sedu agongo awo asem wo court nti
ontimi oni e bank
awo court it has nothing to do with the bank
yes
but oguni bank
yes
and that's also wasem wo so must we also say wasem awo on my court it will nyuma wo nyina yengu no and the MPP people will come.
Maybe because in the bank I'm trying to say data bank
that's right.
It's still operating and the nana ye pay what you
insurance.
So Alaska, so you see how dangerous near man Krofo ye no kroma say. Enti obiya na dwen say or you should the same measure to go after that. That's why I told you the last time say when power is slip into the hands of a fool, they think that they are sitting on the moon and they use this same power to destroy themselves, destroy everybody. But on them say onim nyansa ntin and that kind of Ofori-Atta say now relax it now play back the mind and near my why no kroma or no who say my bonnet young Krofo braba you are no also ma. So on the day obiti baby no so MPP ni ntino me ko ye demonstration na Ken Ofori-Atta no I say ya. You should know Sasa Binyansa ne new team because the time the gentleman was operating with impunity with that team or there Kwabena na se for there were other options he could have and the papa kwasindium or yareshe them.
Oh that's right.
Wabubu no kra atwesien enko abrante ya no ye beige capital.
Oh
there was a time we were traveling across the country me say every single village bi abakobia na abrante we be a bank or just trying to bring financial help and accessibility to people at the rural areas.
Branches also commercial bank.
Alaska, these businesses, you know, you see, and yeah, easy, sir, because of people they were dealing with, you know. So challenges and those there, but you as a sensible government, you find a way to how to handle them because government so support to some of this enterprise to grow because at the end of the day, say enterprise new grower. Uncomfortable for some mayor juma. Ghana for no mudo. So the burden of unemployment our minor grapple with no. So they pay taxes and our minor move because a growth of an economy is just about financial transactions at Elkoba. So right. You're able to activate it down there. So it's not always the case at Mikulusu Bank. But these people gave us all funny justification why they needed to collapse these banks. And aside that, Yanti Kroma and Nkra Etidiase. Oko Norfa, and Krama of North, Abatana Yakaye, na yatam or mine sikasi yakusi cathedral. A cathedral na yesirunim senyan sanim. Yatana Krum Hakanyans, I say,
I'm different. Now the way
now no doma hine can sembi. Sir President Mahama investigate all the cases na Otutra Cathedral. I'm sure say he will know no peace in this country. Because as for now, Omoka Hua, Sa Cathedral, Sam no buy, no, we have to go after each of them.
And that's also for you upon no madani prayer tower.
Yo, and then you'll be asem. Alaska, on my sikana yeshe. So Cathedral, no, obi or can who be a sa kisi why so much of mine or so much of mine. That's right. And no more can who you know. You see, this time, no, we need to change the rules of engagement. Now you're rewriting the political narrative. Now you who say going forward, you know, Ufuma and Madame Funia because over the years that is the politics that we've been doing. So Obia and Nana may catch we say the difference between Obia when DC Abaimo and now when you post when they wound to me the difference between you and no a time because you should know that time is coming you'll be in wound to miss position
exactly.
And when you 2 minutes sabi osin sem hunu nem kwasem na wodi bedia you should know say a time is coming na once no oba be wound to me because the Ato wound to me e better obi wo there be that is when you don't do things well so me the American you say Ken Ofori-Atta modus of operandi na say for no the gentleman enye ready so baba kroma we will sit here next year ye baba betena be can say Ken Ofori-Atta still no my because in some okikan or say obekọ your friend say okoye surgery
obekọ cancer when
cancer surgery so there complication you know to meet see and as to whether recovery when na cancer no kwa nyama no yare dada nipa no nam ho no yare dada so the ben and ho beto no but my point is that Ken Ofori-Atta you be if he is willing to come into this country the state securities will take into account his present medical situation. You can arrange with them. You can come. Say by ya cautionary statement, whatever be no just provide because what may you didn't come. You understand? Now what tenasia my 2nd June deadline and son of a catcher and say your schedule. Ebasa say you don't respect the people. And for me that is the card that he's playing. And that disrespect, that vulgar attitude or what at the several Ghana for that time, is the same attitude today. Because sa brenda na omu take decisions are bosia born ye nyansa nim ye ko Eurobon ye kwagina ye kenke party ye levy na ye edi huru Ghana for that belligerent posture attitude na no mumu obia no that is the same thing in play here. So for me I think that is good that Ghana for how disappointed Ghanaians are because for various social media people are really angry because ordinary as Ghanaians Sanko be Yarea Alaska we sympathize with the person. That's right. But at this point, and I'm the Ken Ofori-Atta you don't even see anybody sympathizing with him because of the why the cancer diagnosis sorry. Yeah. But that's not what people are saying. A man for say wawu otiase o yanko twe ne form obi kura fra me na no say the message chirem say ni evacuation ni ya complex na yanko kidnap ni yemfa ne shebotom na yemfa ne mra Ghana because that is the only way you understand. But for me I think say first case Gyamfi special prosecutor that guy is only playing games.
No already he's from there. Nana will never appoint somebody on yet.
And you see why this issue here because Cecilia the pie issue fire and I dying foolish case Matisa Yoko for I recommend this on for docket in
That's right.
It means that the gentleman is not doing anything or he's just from fooling everybody because no on the number for you know where he's coming from.
That's right.
And Saka Sabna Sanya Manama Koto bulletproof car say Ajumano Akuko Krampa Akukon court. Nano Matisa say or the take and no special prosecutor mandate and yen do buy Massa. Sajuma now all this service and other people if they are really working they can get these people to get our money back. You understand? The intent and the purpose for the establishment of the office of the special prosecutor from day one, so a further drain on the public resources. We need to decommission that particular way, scrap it and resource the AG department, resource Yoko and other institutions with the prosecutorial powers to go ahead and do prosecution. Now you're making sure your prosecution, you're really serious. And Alaska, apart from Untumi and Kono, there are several other people in the coming days, I think that the same approach that we need to. And for me, it cannot just be Yadnako Yoko, na gidi ya money bill. No, who sa issues, who be brain, Yoko ba die. To me, everybody is following.
Oh, that's right.
Me say we need to change the political narrative in this country. Say, enya here for muko we am kontomri nkwa na ko prison. Enya omo we aponche nkwa ne. Among for more tenancy we have millions of dollars in the name of dirty politics. They must begin to see the inside of jail. Sabaya best serve as a lesson because in the past, Chachuchi Katanuman koda jail.
That's right.
Sir Victor Solomon and so forth. And I heard the amount of money involved in Sika on the koda jail. And we are obesu.
And we are a branch of be a woman, Esherman, Kadu, Alaska. We nkosi bia na with the Shanam's boss. We am sorry. Na JM, the JM second coming when and yes, I JM now. Who no where I am the legacy term. Now obey jailino. I am telling you.
Alaska, na me say whether John Mahama will be successful or not, and that is up to him. Ghana for your idea the 2 million amount. The other bay is what determines your future. You have a freeway. I say, you talk brand new car, man. The Kusi Highway, so amount. Your city as well, back. As I was winter, as name, because and wow,
that's right.
Time has come. As all right to the political narrative. The young who say, Ghana na man for who say, oh, people in the name of politics, and I'm saying you see structure politics, and any fool at all can just jump in there. To me,
serious.
I'm running here, Muboni. Yes, also a national chairman.
Wouldn't to me.
Yes.
And I only say Nadia Wekran, Asante campaign platform.
Yes.
And then I'll call MPP headquarters. I will be an ordinary Apache on to me in Casso say, why yet is when you're my stroke. And I'm not to 29. And also, Chairman, you do be not just I said the General Secretary.
Now we are serious. I acquire the Catramaka Kraka will note our Kakofa with some General Secretary. Casa grown to me in Casa. Oh, when you're serious. And I'm a you see, the MPP need to take time to rebrand themselves because you see, the intellectualism caveat tonight, they are trying so hard to delete from the element of the party. And the
I'll be a division of
Alaska. Do you see any signs of reasoning in that act they do? Because want to me, Casey, want to me second day no money bail. Second day no money bail.
That's right.
I'm reason say bail no so. Me catch us say in 2012, Wyoming was giving 54 million.
I have all the material.
Alaska Ato Forson way. Man 600 million. Number one, your man 500 million bail. 500 million.
Ato Forson, man 675 million.
Okay.
Kofi Amwa being 110 million.
Okay.
Kwabena Agyarko. Man no 100 million bail.
Okay.
And now on San Kwan in Crawford and about 650 million.
Okay.
So
yes, number one 500 million.
Number one 500.
So if they gave that joker a 50 million, you sit there and tell us, when the amount involved in his we no cry far larger and bigger than. And I'm say these are intellectuals. You see, emotions have eaten the bigger part of their brains, so they are just acting emotional. No rationality in the way and manner they operate. So for me, to me case in the so on this Ken Ofori-Atta issue, I'm saying, President Mahama, as a matter of urgency, must find a way to scrap this special prosecutor. And Sasikana Yedeko on found resource the AG department at every region. You're making sure the Attorney General department are very effective.
Right.
I will good lawyers and prosecutors at any point in time because you see, we cannot center all the cases in Accra. And the coffers are crowded because the number of people who are supposed to face prosecution.
That's right.
Let us divide them. We cannot hold all of them here in Accra. What I say? Now you're making sure that we are really making a progress. Now special prosecutor Ujana and Kwano Mana no Bato Nyansasembi and free home.
But I say Ivan Che innocent and I.
So if you need help, the person is outside Ghana, you go through our Attorney General, then our Attorney General will write to the U.S. government. At least at a point, they are saying Ofori-Atta is in the U.S. or any other country.
Yes. Okay. So they give 6 locations, but this Mayo Clinic, we know it's in the U.S. They have other branches. I think from our search, we saw one in the UAE, one in China, and then also about 11 other countries as well. But this letter purported to be from his doctors. It's from the Mayo Clinic in the US.
Exactly. So you write to the American, so the Attorney General, Dr. Ayine, would reach out to the U.S. government. We need Ofori-Atta for this. Long and short, what I'm saying is that we should have also used a bit of that time from the February to June, you see, so that we could have reached out. So speaking plainly, for me, I to date, Mr. Jabin hasn't explained. And you see, we are using information. So speaking plainly, I'm not altogether happy with Mr. Jabin that he didn't use the video conferencing facilities that you can use if you apply to the U.S. authorities, where they would then grant facilities so that you would do video conference. It's in the law. So that you can conference with Ofori-Atta whilst you're there. Because from February to June was a lot of time. That's why I say, so it's based on information. You see, when you're in public office, you know how Ghanaians are. We are minimum 33, 34 million citizens, right? So we'll ask questions. So you should see that Ghanaians will ask questions. So when there is a law that says that we can seek the help of the foreign government so that we can talk to him, do video conference, ask him to bring documents, etc. If you reject it, then come with reasons for us to be at par with you, because you know it's governance. If you say, "Oh, you are the OSP," Mr. Jabin cannot even say he doesn't owe us an explanation. He does, because these are state resources. The time we're using is also a resource. So why are we sitting on our hands for 4 months saying, okay, we'll wait till June, when we could have been engaging him through video conferencing, etc.? You have a question?
Yes. The question was that this same question was put to the OSP during the press conference. He said that Ken Ofori-Atta and his lawyers cannot be picking and choosing.
Yes, I heard that's not an answer.
Dictating to the OSP how the investigation.
No, that's not an answer.
Why
Please,
is that?
with due respect, that's not an answer. The question is that we have the Mutual Legal Assistance Act. US, they are always asking us for help. All right? We also ask. So if they need something, extradition, they will write to us, send us arrest warrant, all those things. Then we extradite, we arrest people here, extradite them to the US, etc. It's for cooperation and this. Because if I had the one, I want to get my investigations moving forward quickly. The man says in February, I'm not coming. But eventually you guys agree he will come in June. That's a long time. We could have negotiated that well. In the meantime, for other things, if you are strong enough, can we do a number of video conferences? This day will ask for this, that day this. Then you progress. I don't. That's why I said, so Mr. Jabin, you need to explain why you can't. It's not an answer to say a suspect or an accused cannot pick and choose. That's not an answer. What is at stake is that our resource, our time, we've lost time. So you can't come and give us an answer that an accused cannot pick and choose. That's not an answer. You've lost time. Account for it. Why did you do that? I would have engaged him straight. I would have engaged him. Because remember, it's that the family will tell you, and the lawyer ma'am is here. It's not Ofori-Atta who is coming. He's not obliged to come and hang himself. You are investigating. You have your information that you think that, yes, this one, you think he's done something wrong. So it's your information. You have to ask him. If you are lucky and he confesses, fine. But he can still confess even if you are engaging him through this mutual legal assistance act, right, with the help of the Attorney General. So I don't understand. He should explain to us why he sat on his hands for this, about how many? 3.5 months minimum. It's a lot of time. You don't have much time. And you know, the expectations of Ghanaians is growing. There's pressure. So I would have engaged Ofori-Atta. I would have. I don't know, unless maybe there's something. And when he was giving, there's something that we don't understand from here. But once we don't understand, give us the necessary information. Why you didn't engage him. But not to say that a suspect or an accused cannot pick and choose. That one, with due respect, it's not an answer. We've lost time. That's a lot of time. from February 18th, right? Yes, to June 2nd. So you had the whole of March, whole of April, whole of May. Then you add about this in about half of February. Yeah, so minimum about 3.5 months. That's a lot of time, extremely. Now, I think OSP too must answer for that. Yeah.
Well, the OSP is going to answer in a bit for it because Sammy Darko is going to be joining us on Zoom then. And I want you to respond to this, that that position that has been espoused, that under the Constitution, Ken Ofori-Atta has the right not to even incriminate himself.
Yeah.
He has a right to remain silent.
Yes, Article 19.
Even if he's extradited.
Yes. So ask him. So if you give you the information, if you are doing video conferencing, he will tell you, I will give you. And then we want your statement. Once the permission of the U.S. authorities have been sought, yeah, he will send the statement. Then at least you know that, well, this is a man who says he will not confess. Then you start preparing. But say, okay, let's wait. It's difficult, Mr. Jabin. This one, that side is a bit tacky. It's a bit tacky, because 3.5 months is a lot of time. Lot.
Well, let me bring, like I said, Mam Hesi in a bit. That proposal about Mr. Lawyer Kwame Agyarko said he was expecting that within this period, the OSP should have at least even traveled to authenticate whether or not Ken Ofori-Atta is sick. I think got into that point as yet.
Please come again.
And whether his proposal was that I think Lawyer Matipebo also supports that between February and June, the OSP should have taken a step to authenticate whether or not Ken Ofori-Atta is sick.
Okay.
You say it hasn't gotten to that point as yet. Why?
I mean, for me, I am of the humble opinion that the OSP, just like all the security service involved in investigation is to investigate the offenses that he so alleges. As to whether the man is sick or not, when an invitation is extended to him, his handlers, albeit his lawyers, they are to come in to indicate his situation. So, in respect of his health, they are to show that forthrightness with the OSP, indicates that this is it. The man is not well, and it's not just letter writing, but it should be supported that indeed this is the situation. But we witnessed a lack of let me say judiciousness, as saying the information flow was not there, and it meant more of negotiating with such information. The information given to the OSP could be treated as confidential, not necessarily divulged to the public. And I believe that if probably the lawyers had done that, we wouldn't have gotten to this escalated level. But for the OSP, he is not too minded about further putting in resources to know whether the man is indeed sick or not. Because, number one, the OSP is even so not sure where the whereabouts of Mr. Ken. That is the reason why he went to the circuit court to procure a warrant of arrest. And based on that warrant of arrest, he's now going through Interpol for the red notice and now seeking further procedures through the Office of the Attorney General for extradition processes to kick in.
Well, I'm just on that point, and and because of that issue you raised, Sammy Darko, lawyer Sammy Darko, is joining us on the telephone. But it was trying to get him on Zoom, but we couldn't connect. But he's joining us on the telephone right now, thankfully, to respond to some of the issues that you have raised. He's a director of Strategy, Research and Communications Division of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP. Lawyer Sammy, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Alfred.
Now, first off, why did you, I mean, the Mayo Clinic letter we have has the United States address, but in the wanted notice that you published declaring Ken Ofori-Atta wanted, you listed 6 countries on there, talking about the US, UK, South Africa, Guyana, Hong Kong, Cayman Islands. Why?
Okay, thank you. First of all, let me say that it's not every information that as law enforcement we may put out for purposes of protecting our investigation. So if you see a law enforcement agency list jurisdiction, take it to mean that they have intel that may suggest a few other things than you, who is not inside the investigation, will be aware. I would like to address a little confusion in the minds of, I think, lawyers in particular. You know, some lawyers are treating Mr. Ofori-Atta as if he's an accused person, which means that Mr. Ofori-Atta has been charged, or let me begin with that. He has been arrested and charged. So they will talk about why the OSP not taking advantage of mutual legal assistance program and go and do video conferencing, blah, blah. The OSP is aware of all these things, but these things are used when a person has been arrested, charged, and placed before a court. As we speak, Mr. Ofori-Atta has not been arrested by any law enforcement agency. So the suggestion that we could take Mr. Ofori-Atta via Zoom may not apply, because we cannot arrest a person through Zoom. We cannot take a caution statement from a suspect through Zoom, because the only time you can take a caution statement is when the person has been placed under arrest properly, so-called.
Right.
And let me also address the little issue about trying absentia. If you study our Constitution very well, Article 19.3 details how trying absentia should happen. And the conditions are about 2. It says that when a person, an accused, when we say an accused, it means that you have been arrested, charged, has a disruptive behavior, like that placing before the court will disrupt proceedings. Or if the person, having been charged, that is, the accused, being placed before court, elects not to come to court at all. So there's a popular case called Kwaku, that is the Republic, which is like the case on it even ended at Court of Appeal. The whole idea is that the person must be tried in his presence, unless that person facing trial elects to say, I don't want to attend the trial, right? But we also do know that, how about if, so that's why if you even take international court, and it's the same principle across international court of human rights matters. If you take the ICC, for instance, why do you think that they issue arrest warrants for people and put them on Interpol, heads of state, former heads of state? Why? Because they could try them in absentia. So why don't they try them in absentia? But they still insist that they should have been arrested and brought. So if you say Slovakia, Milan Slovak, one of the presidents, after he had been arrested and placed before the ICC, he then elected and said, I won't come to court again. Then they decided to try him in absentia. Why is it a win to me? They not tell Yoku that you have evidence against me, I'll go to court and try me. You don't need me. Why is that today Ghana police have arrested several people, hundreds of people? Why are they not telling Ghana police that, oh, please, if you have evidence against me, go to court and start the process. I don't want to come there. Please, it is not so. Let's not, in our haste of trying to still pin an error on an agency. Agencies are not perfect, but rules are rules, laws are laws. And the OSP has tried to abide by the law. Now, let me address this issue by Ken Ofori-Atta in terms of whether they brought us a medical report or not. Ken Ofori-Atta, as we speak today, has not brought us any medical report. What Mr. Ofori-Atta has brought us are 2 things, and I will expatiate on the first one. The first one was that on the 28th, through his lawyers, Mr. Ofori-Atta did bring a letter from his lawyers, a very terse letter with no attachments, And the letter just read. And the SP read into the letter, but people may not have paid attention. The letter just said that we want to thank you for your indulgence of our clients. One, they even acknowledge that we have indulged their clients. And then two, they proceeded to say that our clients will not be able to come on June 2nd. Then three, they proceeded to say that our client will go and do a surgery, a cancer surgery. Then four, they said that if the office is so minded, they can meet us and allow us to see his biopsy. What it means that they want us to see his diagnostic procedures. Then the last one, they said that, or alternatively, they can seek permission of the court and allow us to see it. Then there was no other attachment. Then the second letter, which many of you have, before we could see any letter, they had already put it through Asare Radio to everybody. Apparently, they had filed a supplementary affidavit in an ongoing human rights action that Mr. Ofori-Atta had filed against the OSP, in essence trying to say that the OSP cannot declare him wanted without a warrant. Now we are producing court that we wanted to arrest Mr. Ofori-Atta based on a warrant from a court. Now they filed a supplementary affidavit apparently on the 27th. But remember, on the 28th, a day before, we were in court with them over an injunction application. They were seeking to injunct us from arresting him without a warrant. And that procedure, when they were there, they never brought it to the attention of the court nor the office of the special prosecutor that they had even filed a supplementary affidavit for their old case, which they filed in March somewhere. Now, this supplementary affidavit, we saw it, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. That's when the bailiff served the office. Now, when we even look at it, it's the same letter they've attached. Now, when you look at it, it's the same letter they've attached, and there is no diagnostic procedures attached. And yet, when you see the letter you just displayed, you see at the tail end that they have enclosed something. They said some medical report and another report. Now, these two reports, they are missing in the entire supplementary affidavit they filed in court. It's not part of it. So the exhibit does not include even that diagnostic procedure. But we are not so minded by these diagnostic procedures because those procedures can even be done in Ghana in 1 hour. If you go to the urologist department at Kolebu here, it can be done in an hour and you just go home. That is why the office has maintained that unless Mr. Ofori-Atta has a certified medical report from Mayo that says that he is incapacitated. And here, many people don't understand it when we say incapacitated. What we mean is that if somebody says he is sick, it is not a bar not to come before police. The only time you can refuse not to come to police or police will oblige you is when you are unable to say walk. You are bedridden. So we want to know whether Mr. Ofori-Atta, since February, he has been on hospital bed in Mayo Clinic till 2nd June, or Mr. Ofori-Atta since February has been traveling. We want to know. Because the only time you cannot travel is when you are bedridden. And the OSP is saying that, and that's the context many people don't understand that. We are saying that until we see a medical report that says that Ofori-Atta cannot travel, that is the only time we may accept and give him some time. Because then incapacitation counts everything. But to simply say that you are sick so you can't come, do you know how many people in Ghana are going to Kolebu for diagnostic procedures on cancer every day, and yet they are standing trial in court, they are appearing before the police people? Because the only time you go is the time you have the appointment. In between those times you don't have appointment, you have to appear. And Mr. Ofori-Atta will have to appear. That is why we are now enforcing his appearance. So we have done the right thing by placing him on Interpol red notice, which means that we want him arrested. And then we have also started the extradition process. We have written to the Attorney General. It will go through the Attorney General to Foreign Affairs so that he can then be repatriated back to Ghana. So in the long and short, Ghanaians, all the office is doing is now ensuring his attendance. That's all.
But I'm sure that's what you were responding to earlier, that based on the provisions in the Mutual Legal Assistance Act, specific to criminal cases, you could, this is Section 5K, you could have explored, and it is lawful, you could have explored the video conferencing option and even written to the authorities, the United States authorities here in Ghana.
And most especially, the act is not limited to accused persons. It's not correct.
He should show not limited to accused persons.
Not. When you are in investigation,
so you don't need to have accused Ken Ofori-Atta or been an accused person before this video conferencing option is explored.
It's not true. Let me answer you, and I'll repeat. I think that the people of Ghana heard me very well, and they understand what I've said. Mr. Ofori-Atta has not been arrested.
Yes, I think that's clear.
There is nothing else we will do. You don't know why we need him. Law enforcement agency will write to you and say that we need you for interview. You don't know what happens when you enter the law enforcement office. You have no idea what it is that the OSP wants to do. And I'm saying that we can't take any statement. Who even told Ghanaians that?
Can you, look, listen, there's Sammy Darko. Can you point to the law? Point to the law specifically.
I know you want to have your day, but
no, I'm just saying point to which section. Which section says that it's only when somebody's been arrested that you can use the Act 807.
Of knowledge.
No, don't go there.
Who told you Martin people? And as you've gone on this, who told you that the OSP won't elevate? Hold on, if I can finish. Who told you that the OSP won't?
No, but the specific question was to, I think there was a question that was posed to you. It's not about Martin people specifically. It's a question that was posed to you. Now, what is the specific provision of the law? Does the law back what the position that you are espousing?
Hold on. There's too much talk. I can't hear because I'm on the phone. Those of you in the studio have the advantage of having louder voice and clearer. So if you can let me finish because I'm on the phone.
So I'm asking a question about what specific provision of the law.
I said you have called the provision, and I told you that. Who even told you that the OSP wants Mr. Ofori-Atta to write a statement? Who even said that?
But if you don't need him, then what are you doing? What are you doing?
If you don't need him to write a statement, then what's all this about?
Who even told you that it's a caution statement the OSP wants? Because the law is very clear. A person can come to you and decide that you will not even talk.
Yes,
I'm saying that USP says that it wants Mr. Ofori-Atta in person. And he has offered to us that he wanted us to take his caution statement. Listen on. Martin is saying something differently because he is saying that he wants us to take his caution statement via video conferencing. And I've just told you that even in law, we cannot take a caution statement if the person has not been arrested. And I've gone on to also show to you that you cannot arrest a person via Zoom, let alone take the caution statement via Zoom. We need Mr. Ofori-Atta in person, and it's not true that the OSP has delayed. We have our timeline of investigating. For you, you may think that the OSP has delayed. For us, we may not think we have delayed because we ought to take our time and do. And Ofori-Atta is not the only case the OSP is investigating. As I speak to you, over 30 people are on bail. Soon they will be arraigned before court. We have so many things we are doing. So the prosecutor and the investigator has his timelines of what he's doing, and he says that he needs the person to come before him. You don't know why he needs the person. And yes, you have a right to know. But at the appropriate time, when we are now very clear that nothing compromises our investigation, we inform the people of Ghana. In any case, the USP stands out as one of the most transparent law enforcement agencies. And all of you can bear testimony to that.
Okay, Mr. Akon, so I want to ask a question. Since you said you need him, he has a right not to incriminate himself, right? So you can get him and he still will be silent.
What is in the arrest?
So what would then the arrest be?
I just told you what you just told me, that Mr. Ofori-Atta can even decide not to talk. It is not our business.
Yes.
For investigators and prosecutors, that's not our business.
Yes. So what will be the consequence of the arrest?
And you want me to be able to tell you what you need him for? And I'm saying that I cannot even disclose.
There is no. Listen, let's come in this. Mr. Darko, Sammy Darko. Wait, our constitution doesn't say that, right? You see, when you say arrest is touch and then inform him the offense is committed. That's the arrest, right? Now, he's not here to be touched and informed. What in the constitution prevents us from saying that, listen, so because you are not here physically to be arrested, we are going on that, look, we would, we have a case against you, XYZ. So let's go on to the next process. This touch and inform him. That's the arrest. In law, touch and inform him that we are taking you for this and Do you need to take him into custody before you do anything? What is this restrictive interpretation of the Constitution? What? Okay, touch him and inform him.
I'm not going to have anything, any banter with you. I'll answer the post now. What you have just said is not new from what I just told you.
But you said with the arrest, you cannot go on with the rest of the process.
You just made a wrong assumption. And I've just told you now that your assumption could not be true.
But that's different from saying that with the arrest, you cannot do.
When I'm talking, please allow me to talk. Give me that chance. You've got a chance to say this point over and over. I just had the opportunity to address.
Okay.
So if you could just allow me to address. I've addressed you specifically that Mr. Ofori-Atta has requested for his caution statement to be taken on the internet. We have said that throughout the law, if you don't arrest a person, you can't even take a caution statement. You will not now tell us that we should do that, because you are the same people that when we don't follow law, the slightest loophole, lawyers will take advantage of it. Allow us to do our job. We know what we are doing. In fact, we know what we are doing. And nobody is infringing on the rights of anyone. Mr. Ofori-Atta, if he's not incapacitated, should be able to attend to a law enforcement agency. There are several things that happen inside. You have no idea what happened when Wunmi entered Iyoko. You have no idea. You may assume. Allow the investigators to do their job.
Under the scope
of
I have to go.
But yes, right. But then I know you're doing. So yes, I know you're doing like this. Quick.
Yo, waiting for waiting. And some here, Ivan Che Innocent is some what they are to the fire Ken Ofori-Atta at the office of the special prosecutor. Yakisi Ejabe Ninsama or no so they are to the fire Ken Ofori-Atta whom we issue a year red alert. I say copy where Interpol. Amoisu at the Ato one website. Acquire a red notice. Acquire a sebibri. Because so we can subscribe to channel here. But more than say over subscribe. Now I like a video on a face share. Wofufro so na when you be here na wo ensemo a ekoso e wo Ghana memo hano oso betimi achere wadwen afaye sebo ejira ho e wo comment box mu mo beti mi kabim in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.